What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, Duel commentary. Alright, so we got Battery 98, 1669. It was just at like 1700. He lost one match against Cleese, and that's what happens on DN versus JC Pascal 1111. Alright, 1111. That reminds me of this ESPN commercial with Matt Ryan, the quarterback from the Falcons. 1111, alert, scat 120. Never mind. Alright, so anyways, Nekroz versus Volcanics. It looks like Battery went first, and he opened with, I believe he went Monk for Rocket, and then made Lavable Chain, probably dumping Volcanic Shell in the graveyard, and then paying for Volcanic Shell. So one of the cards in his hand is Shell, and then another card is probably, oh wow, we're going to get the Blind Mind Crush. He calls Trishula. Dude, he better have Trishula. I think I might have called Unicorn. Oh, he had Trishula. Good job. Good job. Very good job. Alright, so he pays with Sharit, and he gets Unicorn. Hey man, as long as you don't get Trist at the end of the day, right? That's all that fucking matters. Alright, so he's gonna go for Sharit. Although I guess he could get Cycle, right? If he has Cycle, he could still Trish you. The Trish is just, man, that card is a game breaker. It is, seriously. And if you go first and you play any cards that hit the graveyard, you can get Trished. Unless you have no hand, then you can't get Trished. You have to make sure you have no hand. But everything searches, and a lot of decks like to leave a card in their hand, and you can't Mind Crush your opponent if you don't have a card in your hand. So you're risking that when you Trish, I guess, or when you go first against Nekroz. If you go second, you can't get Trished at all because you have nothing in the graveyard, and well, unless you play a hand trap, but you have nothing on field regardless. As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, unless you, yeah, that would just be so unlikely for you to play like I'm trying to think, like, is Cyber Dinosaur and stuff like that, like Cyber Dinosaur and Maxi, and your opponent like Trishes you turn one, but that would be so unbelievable. All right, so he searches out Brio. Searches out Baronic from Sharit, and yeah, I picked up some Ultra Mind Crushers. I think they're from the Legendary Collection. I picked them up off TCG Player for like maybe $250 each, something like that. I feel like it's a good investment because not only am I playing it now in my deck, but then you know Mind Crush is becoming so prevalent because of these fucktards that I feel like, you know, the ultra copies could go up. I mean, it's out of print and whatnot, so. And also I'm trying to rarity whore up my, really rarity whore up my Sorteller Knight deck. I kind of wish Oasis of the Dragon Souls would have been at least a super or an ultra, but, you know, you can't have everything. It would be very big if that Lavable Chain was able to survive, but guess not. If I'm Battery, I think I'm kind of happy about that. Like, I'm happy with that exchange. I was going to say, because not only do you get a draw out of Reload, but then it's like all your opponent did was put Unicorn on board, and Unicorn doesn't affect your deck because you don't really exceed anyway. Although, Konami, if you're listening, a rank 4 Volcanic exceed would be kind of nice. So, now, I mean, he's able to get a couple of draws. Put himself in a position to maybe he can do some damage. My problem with Volcanics in this matchup is Volcanics really don't attack the graveyard that well, and they also kind of struggle against big monsters that are on board. Like when monsters that are over 1900 get on board, it's kind of a struggle for them. They usually have to rely on Snatch Steal, Regeki, Book of Moon, Dark Hole if you play it, and that's kind of it. Alright, so he activates Pod Duality. The Royal Guard looks good. MST looks horrible. Ice Hand, play at your own risk. So he takes Royal Guard, and since Rocket is dead, looks like it's live to me. So he's going to activate the effect, draw some more cards. Now, from what I've seen, I don't think Battery plays I don't think he plays Wildfire. I've not seen him play Wildfire yet. And by the way, the reason I'm recording this is you guys know Volcanics is my favorite deck to watch in action by far. So he'll draw cards. I don't know if he plays Phoenix and Windblast either. I know he plays a lot of Fiendish Chains. Why wouldn't you? Because, you know, you get Magic Planter and whatnot. So I wonder if he'll Fiendish Chain it or if he'll let it die or what. But this is the one problem that the deck has. They struggle to get rid of monsters that are already on the board. Reinforcements of the Army is played. And looks like he's just going to go ahead and chain. Reload's ability. I don't know what he's going to do with it. So he's going to activate Reload. Gives up Scatter Shot. Okay, so he's going to nuke the field now. I'm a little surprised about that. I guess his opponent committed to a Klaus or Shirit, so I guess he felt like that wasn't threatening him. So Rotor resolves first. And then I would assume that the Scatter Shot happens in another chain. So goodbye. The only thing I can think of is maybe he might have Vanity set. Because now your opponent doesn't have a field, so he can start adding spells. Not sure. I guess he knows more than we know. Oh yeah, he was also able to get in with some burn damage too. Alright, so Nekroz Mirror is banished. I'm gonna say he's gonna banish Brio. Nope, Unicorn. Probably for... I'm just gonna guess Cycle. Because Cycle can summon Trishula straight from the graveyard. That seems like the best plan of action to me. Is trying to get your Trish out the graveyard. Because then, I mean, if you resolve a Trish, you get the Scatter Shot out of the graveyard. And then they can't do that full nuke. Or they can't, I mean, they lose a lot of utility. Let's just say that. Instead, he takes the No Scope. But he is going to activate Cycle first. And then there's Vanities. Better hope he has an MST. Otherwise, he has 2 dead cards. Because Kaleidoscope is dead. And so is Cycle. So that's no good. Yeah, that might have been the only reason that I thought that he preemptively activated his Scatter Shot and Reload combo. I was like, he must have Vanity set, because that's the only thing that really makes sense here. And he has a decent sized monster on board. I mean, 1700 is like a fucking behemoth when you're playing against Nekroz. In that matchup, all you need is something bigger than fucking 1400 and you're good. If you get something over 2000, it's godlike. Because then they can't even set the Djinn. I think the Djinn has like 2000 defense, doesn't it? Whatever the Djinn's defense is, it's really high if I'm not mistaken. So Pascal activates, I believe that's Brio. Yep, he activates Brio for... I mean, at this point, is he just trying to thin his deck? Okay, I guess he's getting some defense with Valkyrus. If you're not going to be able to do any plays, like, why not, right? You know you're not doing any plays right now, so you might as well. He's already used Reload this turn, so he obviously can't do anything else. And I think he has 3 in his graveyard right now, currently. I think 4 now. So he's going to activate it again. It's like whenever you Scatter Shot, man, it's like Royal Guard just becomes instantly live because you send 3 at one time and then you just Royal Guard and draw 2 cards. So, okay. Now he's going to get another copy of Rocket. I mean, of Reload. I would probably set it. Just to psych my opponent out. Okay. So I don't know if he said it. Oh, okay. Well, he said it in 2, so who knows if he said it or not. Now, assuming he didn't draw an out to Vanity's Emptiness or a monster that's bigger than 1700, he will need to burn that Valkyrus this turn. And he can, I mean, you can juggle the Valkyrus a couple of times, but... Oh, well, he drew Mystical Space Typhoon, so that's that. And he loses Obviously his reload, which isn't the worst thing in the world. He could have another Vanity's Emptiness. It's unlikely, but he could have another one. He pays with Shuriek. And I don't know if he's going to go... Okay, he's going for Trishula. The Nekroz of Trishula. So he's going to chain Reload's ability. So I guess Accelerator is Chain Link 2. I mean, excuse me, 3. Now Shuriek will activate. Chain Link 2. So keep in mind he has what? A Valkyris in hand. I believe he has a Nekroz Mirror in hand. And he now has a Brio in hand. So I guess he'll go after the face down card. Now Trishula will activate and trigger. So he takes the middle card out of his hand, face down. It's Ice Hand and another Accelerator. So I guess that doesn't really matter. Take Scattershot out. That wasn't so bad. If your battery, so it wasn't. Yeah, that could have been worse. What you hope is that he just doesn't summon another monster. But I fear that he's going to summon Valkyris, try and attack, and then tribute to draw. He activates the No Scope. This is even worse because if he gets Unicorn, he gets to summon it for free. Yep, there's Unicorn. And now he might search out something like probably, I don't know. I think I might search out Ganir at this point. Max C would have done him a lot of good actually right here. But then he probably wouldn't have summoned Unicorn. So I mean that's obvious. But then if he would have just summoned Trish and attacked, that still leaves you with a monster on board. So it's not like awful. So he gets Ganir. That's what I would have got. Because Ganir protects you from Dark Hole and Regeki and shit like that. While you clear your opponent's board out. It also protects you from Scattershot. Not the burn damage, but just Scattershot in general. Having your monster die. And he still has Valkyris, so he can protect himself from attacks. He's got 5 cards in hand, although part of his engine has been banished, so. Kind of needs like a Royal Guard. Alright, so he's going to activate Shell so that he can get another draw. Thins his deck of a Shell too, by the way. Maximize his cards. Hasn't seen a magic. Okay, there we go. I'm like, we have not seen a magic planner yet. Like, that's kind of strange. You'd be, I mean, this 25 cards deep into your deck and not see one magic planner. Like, it doesn't seem reasonable. Activates Pod Duality. No special summoning this turn. He gets that Snatch skill though. And Mind Crush. They both look good, but I'm guessing Snatch skill seems better. And we know most of Pascal's hand. So he activates Snatch skill on Trishula. And the only card that stops Snatch skill is Trishula of Nekroz. So it's not like he can negate it with the hand effect. We know that he has Valkyris and Ganir. If he attacks, Fire Hand, no good. That was a really good counterplay. So I wonder if he'll use Ganir. Or maybe he might end up having to burn Valkyris. Either way, it's not great. Now he cannot use Fire Hand's ability this turn to special an Ice Hand because he already used Duality. So don't mess up, Battery. You're playing pretty well right now, although you could probably use more purple cards. More purple cards and more Royal Fire Guards. You should be able to search that card. I swear to goodness. Nah, don't make it. be too nuts. Just be too nuts. If there was a Rhoda for that card, oh my god, they'd run 3 of the Rhoda just for that one card. So Pascal has to think about if he wants to just let his monster die, if he wants to take both attacks, if he wants to use Ganir. What exactly is it that he wants to do? So he's going to use Valkyrus. The problem with that is he cannot use any of his spells unless he wants to attack into Trish. Yeah, unless he wants to attack into Trishula. And if he runs over Firehand, he will almost certainly still lose a monster anyway. So this is not the greatest situation in the world. He gets some life points though to ease his mind. Life points are pretty much even in this game. 39 at the top, 41 at the bottom. But that Snatch still seems like it ended up being kind of big. Basically was a net 2. A +2 for battery. Oh boy, Shared Ride in the main deck. No. This is so good for battery. He's guaranteed a draw. And now if you're Pascal, if you thought that maybe you could kill your Unicorn and then you could start, adding a whole bunch of spells to your hand so that you could get more cards, it's just not going to happen. I mean, I guess it can happen, but you have to give your opponent so many damn cards to do the play. It's like, why? Unless you're going to kill him, I just don't see it being worth it. I mean, maybe what he can do is try and summon Ganir and get rid of the Snatch Deal and try and push for game that way. Hope that his face down isn't a real card, but that takes some balls to try and do that. It also would take pretty much your entire hand, I think, because I think he can search a spell with Unicorn right now, but that would give him an extra draw as well, because he's already... Okay, so he's going to go for Unicorn, whatever. It's not me playing, right? And if he uses Kaleidoscope and he uses the Herald, that'll give him a draw as well. So it's like, you're definitely dancing with the devil. Alright, so he put protection on his Unicorn. Oh, I guess he's just going to attack the Ice Hand. That's only a 1-for-1 though. That's not technically a plus. Yeah, that is only a 1-for-1. So you see how Shared Ride basically stopped Pascal in his tracks. I'm sure that he wanted to do a better and bigger play. He may have wanted to get to Castel so that he could get rid of the Snatch Steal, or he may have wanted to get to Abyss Dweller. Who knows? But all I know is that he kind of had to stop his play. And the Firehand caused him to have to prematurely use Ganir, which means that Trishula will have no problem just running him over next turn. Unless he has Decisive Armor. But as far as we know, he has 1 Unicorn in his hand, and we're not sure what else. So yeah, battery needs to take that battle damage, that 700 though. And now play will go back to Pascal. I don't know if battery plays compulsory evacuation device. It seems like that would be really good in this situation. You just have to hope your opponent doesn't have another Valkyrus. Has 2 Unicorns and an unknown card. Man, Shared Ride was so big there. Another reason why the hands are good in this deck is Firehand is actually Pyro, so you can send it back to the deck with Royal Guard. Damn, dude, I swear to goodness, Nekroz players take so long to do any of their moves. I think at my regionals, if I play against Nekroz, I'm going to time people because I'm not trying to go into time. Like 40 minutes is more than enough to get to play 3 games. And when people do this, how long has he been in main phase 2? Like a minute, 30 seconds and hasn't done anything but look at his opponent's graveyard? Come on, man. Now he looks at his graveyard again. It's like, dude, make a fucking play. You can't banish your spells because you have a monster on board. You have a Unicorn. You know what I mean? Like, make a play. This is why so many of Nekroz's games go into time, because they're just sitting there not doing anything. So he activates Mystical Space Typhoon in main phase 2. Seems to me that would have been better to use in the battle phase, but whatever. Now he activates Unicorn. to get Valkyrus back. Okay. I guess just in case he gets Raigeki or something. Yeah, to me that seems like that would have been much better to use in the battle phase to like right after you attack the Fire Hand and it just died for nothing. It seems like you should have just MST'd and maybe attacked with Trishula right then and there too. But we're past that at this point. We're past that. So he activates Pod Duality. Monk, no good. Magic Planner, possibly. Mystical Space Typhoon, never. Definitely don't want that card. He's gonna take Monk. Well, at least Monk can stop an attack. If you have to set it, you're like really, really desperate. Monk can also get you to a nice setup play if you can survive a couple of turns. Alright, so he's just gonna set one. How many monsters does he have in his hand? Setting everything. Pascal might not have been, he might not have felt, or Battery might not have felt confident that he was going to survive this turn without the Monk taking an attack. So that could be the reason he did it. And now play goes back to Pascal, who will probably shuffle his hand 10 times before looking at his opponent's graveyard again. And still looking at his graveyard. Now he's looking at his Banish Zone. So he's going to activate Klaus to get a spell. And Shared Ride is chained, so he'll draw a card. Now we know the only card in Pascal's hand is Valkyrus. So either you plan on summoning it or you plan on not summoning it. He gets Mirror. I guess he's going to attempt to go for game. Man, Shared Ride, the price of this card is definitely going up. Anytime your opponent searches, you get to draw a card. So nope, he's just going into battle phase. I feel like there may be a Fiendish Chain here. Oh my goodness, Fire Hands. Wow. He played him like a fiddle. I mean, I think everybody thought that it was gonna be Monk. Maybe that's the reason he got the Monk. He had to smoke screen it. So Trishula just dies for nothing. He still has that Valkyrie, so it's still going to be hard to get through his life points. Now would be an even better time for like Snatch Steal. If he had a level 4 monster and he was able to get to clear his board with like a Raigeki plus a level 4, maybe make a Dweller. Well, he has a level 4. He has Monk in his hand, so Monk basically is a level 4. But you have to find a way to get over Unicorn, and then Abyss Dweller seems like a really good play, because Abyss Dweller, it would be 2200 if you use the Ice Hand, and then it would also lock out their graveyard for 2 turns. Question is, does he have any way of getting Unicorn off the board? A Raigeki or a Book of Moon to attack over it? Because it doesn't have very good defense. He's looking at his graveyard. I mean, his extra deck. I mean, yeah, you can make like Dark Rebellion, Exceed Dragon, but then if they summon other cards, it's like I don't really know how much that helped. So he's not going to activate the effect. He could use Dark Rebellion, Exceed, and that's exactly what he does. He'll attack. He'll probably just let it die. There's no reason to use Valkyrus if you feel like it's just going to die next turn anyway. Now, if Battery has Vanities, he's probably won the game. So he takes the attack. This might have to be one of those duels where I just do one duel, because Necro players, they take so long in all of their plays and all of their turns, and I think this is just game 1. He activates Mind Crusher, calling Valkyrus. This way he also gets to see his hand to see if maybe he has an MST or whatnot. Although honestly, if you have vanities, why not just call MST and it doesn't matter what you lose in your hand. If you have vanities, you're just gonna lock your opponent down anyway, so. I guess they could chain Mystical Space Typhoon though on your vanities. Like you could end up having it get hit. Yeah, so that wouldn't be good. So he calls Valkyris. It goes to the graveyard. Maybe he wanted to see if he could bait it out last turn. Take his vanities or take his Valkyris away and then maybe vanities him and then you just kind of win. It's going to be interesting to see if he has that third shared. Oh my goodness. Mind Crushes for days, right? Oh, calling Dark Hole. Alright, man. If he has... Wait a minute. I don't think he has any monsters to summon. Well, no, he can use, what's it called? He can get Nekroz Cycle and just summon from the graveyard. This will all come down to if he has a way of stopping Cycle. Okay, so he's going to ban it. He's going to go for Cycle. All the other Nekroz cards don't do anything if you don't have any monsters to summon. So he has to go for Cycle. Cycle is the only one, to my knowledge, that summons out the graveyard. Kaleidoscope and Mirror just summon from the hand. Double Mind Crush, man. That's brutal. Oh, okay. I guess he's just not concerned about getting OTK'd, even though his opponent has Monk. That I don't get. Fair enough. Okay, well, whatever. I guess he's just gonna lose. All he has to do is go attack. Yep. So, okay, I'm not. I thought that he would get Cycle and just play it, and maybe just. I don't know. Maybe he may not have been able to play it. I guess, yeah, with Cycle you can't banish from the graveyard. I think that's the regular mirror that lets you banish from the graveyard. Let's see how many minutes we're running on right now. 27 after game 1. That's a lot. Let's hope that this second duel is quicker, or we may have to edit this out. So, I mean, that was a heck of a grind game. If you're playing Volcanics, you're not going to really have any blowout wins for the most part. Against Nekroz, you're going to need your floodgate cards like Vanities to do some work. And I think the first things that come out are the MSTs, obviously. I side, especially if you have Ice Hand and you have secondary ways of blowing up back row, if they would side and roll to Kree. And he was main decking Shared Rides and Mind Crushes, so you're pretty good there. I'd probably just side out MSTs for... I don't know if Artifact Lantia really works in this deck, but I'm pretty sure there are some other things. Void Trap Hole, again, is a card I like very much. I like that against Trishula. I like it against Valkyris and Brio and Gunir if they summon that too. Might take out a Monk if I run 2. So he sets 2 cards. And Mind You is summoned. It's going to attempt the effect. And who knows what he'll get. I feel like Konami has not given us a definitive ways to stop rituals because it's never been relevant until now. You know? Like even the Demise OTK, they only played 1 ritual in the whole fucking deck. It was just Demise. You could still OTK without them. You could OTK with Cyber Twin and Doom Dozer, like those 2 cards. You could OTK with Megamorph and all types of random junk. They played limiter removal and all types of stuff. So he's just gonna attack for the 400 or the 1400. Maybe he's trying to play around Shared Riot. I don't know. Let's see if he can get a rocket going. Nope. Roll to Kree maybe? Nope. If I had Roll to Kree set, I think I would have just flipped it. I used to do that in Boojins. Oh my goodness, he did have Roll to Kree set. Well, that'd definitely wake you up. Because I know personally, when I play Sertona Knights, a lot of times I side out my MSTs, but guess you have to be kept honest. So now he'll go for the Kaleido no scope. 360 Nekroz no scope. Summoning Unicorn. Activate Herald. I mean, it's always been a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! The most aggressive deck in the format, for the most part, can play Royal Decree. Maybe with the exception of Cleese. I don't think that deck could play Royal Decree. It wouldn't make any sense. Because you need to sustain your Pendulum board, and if you have Royal Decree out, your Pendulum scale is going to get cracked so fucking much. You're not going to be able to stop your opponent's plays, and that shit just wouldn't work. So I think he took Decisive Armor. I think he might be trying to push for game at this point. Decisive Armor should get him there, by the way. As long as he plays Cowboy. Yeah. Alright, well, cool. We're getting a quick game 3. A quick game 2, by the way. Yeah, because, that's what? 37 plus 33. That's 7,000 damage right here with these two. With these 3 monsters alone, is 7 without Cowboy. You throw Cowboy in there, you're looking at 7,800 damage, almost an OTK. Not to mention, he ain't even normal summoned yet. So he gets Klaus, Cycle. He's probably just going to go ahead and play the Cycle as long as he has something decent in his hand. So he's going to play... Okay. Alright. Now, sending a cost from the hand? Because if it is a cost, then he could totally use Scattershot to stop him from getting gamed, I guess. Says, just flipped it. I guess maybe he doesn't have any plays. Maybe he just wants to show him. Why hasn't he used Decisive Armor's ability yet? I just thought about that. I mean, it's free. It doesn't cost any life points or cards or anything. It's just, like, anytime I summon that card, I'd be like, effect. Like, that'd be the first thing I did before I did any more actions. I would instantly use Decisive Armor's effect. So, keep in mind, he can still... Okay, Mind Crush. It gets banished. That kind of sucks. I think I might choose second if I'm battery. Okay, so I'm like, dude, are you not going to attack when you clearly appear to have game on board? Just seems kind of silly not to attack. Alright, there you go. There is GG. So we're going into game 3. At least game 2 did not take as long as game 3 did. It was a Royal Decree blowout. And yeah, I think if I'm battery, I think I want to go second. I know you guys might say, well, you set your traps and then you get the Decree during the end phase. I get that, but it's not any different from the same thing happening to him pretty much during his first turn. Like, it just happened, and you have less cards too, so it's like even more of a chance you'll lose. But usually I've seen battery go first. All right, battery's going second. See, man, he listens to me. People listen to me. I'm like Smokey on Friday. I got mind control of these duelists. And you never know. I mean, sometimes your opponent might break. Sometimes they might open Decisive Armor, Ganir, Royal Decree, Maxi, and like, I don't know, another Ganir. If they're playing 2 Ganirs for some dumb reason. So he opens with Sanju, one of the best cards. Really difficult to brick when you open with Sanju or Manju. Because, I mean, you get Brio, and Brio just gets you everything. It's incredible these cards got limited in the OCG, man. I think Sanju and Manju and Preparation of Rites, I think they all got hit. That is crazy. So he goes for... Is he going to try and go for the Genlock, maybe? Because he wrote his for Klaus. Or I guess he could Rhoda for Shuri. I guess the deck has 2 targets for Rhoda. That's why they run it. I'm telling you, man, I don't know how long Rhoda's gonna be at 3. Especially the fact that even the ritual deck can use it. We already know about Heroes and Satellar Knights. That's obvious. But the fact that the ritual deck can use it too, man, it's like you got fusions using it, you got XC decks using it, you got ritual decks using it. Like every deck runs Rhoda, man. I don't know. I feel like Rhoda might not. If they bring out one more good art type using warriors, Rhoda's going right back to 1. I promise you that. It's gonna suck because then I'll have to run random. I have to increase my number of S Knights in a Satella Knight deck. And I don't want to do that. I'm good with the amount that I'm running. So you're starting to see some of the Nekroz cards outside of the big 3 are starting to kind of plummet. Like a lot of them, basically, it's like you're either $40 or up, or you're like $0. You know what I mean? Cards like Charits and Unicorn. I mean, these are basically like $1 or less, 62 cents. You know what I mean? They're secret rares too. That's the crazy thing. Preparation rights, 80 cents. Remember, like 2 months ago, this card was $22, and I kept saying, why is this card so expensive? It's already confirmed to have a reprint, and people were like, well, you never know. Okay, so he activates Max C, and Pascal obviously will search 1. Summon Valkyrus, probably going to want to tribute both of these. So he gets a Brio. Yeah, I predict that Valkyrus is going to end up being like a $75 to $100 card. Because it's much more important than Trishula. Alright, so draws a couple of cards. It has a lot more utility. I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually use Trish on a from the hand effect, like to stop a monster from being targeted. I just really don't see it that much. Don't get me wrong, when Trish hits the board, he's the realest motherfucker in the game. That effect is too nuts. So it looks like he's going to search a spell. A spell he obviously will not use. So he gets the no scope. Again, that card used to be like $3. Now it's only 75 cents. And I always go by the lows because on TCG Player, you can find somebody selling it for the low. Max C is actually going to kind of rising in price despite the fact that it's been printed a bunch now. I wish I would have picked up some ultras. I feel like nobody realized how good those legendary collection sets were going to be when Konami was putting things like Max C and Regeki in them, and everybody was like, Regeki is still banned, and end up being amazing. Alright, so he goes and sets a bunch of cards. How many of those are rolled to crease, you wonder? Oh boy. How many are rolled to crease, we wonder? I still feel like it was the right decision to go second. Alright, so Pot Duality has played Vanities, Reload, Shared Ride. Shared Ride might be the best pick there. I mean, I know Vanities might win the game, but if your opponent has Royal Decree or Mystical Space Typhoon, you just don't know. Although I guess they can play around Shared Ride. Okay, Kaiku hype! Oh snap, we got Kaiku, the motherfucking Ghost Destroyer. About to assault your graveyard, son. All your spells are belonging to us. Oh man, okay, sure it is gone. And his Klaus is gone, which is basically him just like 3 years older. So he sets 3. Show me that in-phase decree that you know you want to show me. Dude, don't go full YOLO back row. Alright, so man, Kaiku's legit. It's been so long since people have played Kaiku. It was the Dragon Ruler spellbook format, because dragons couldn't banish their shit, and with what's it called, with Kaiku, I think, let me read this guy. Banish those targets. Your opponent cannot banish. Yeah, it was mainly used against Dragon Rulers. They couldn't banish cards from the graveyard. Alright, so there's that Royal Decree. I have a feeling he has another one set. I mean, what else has he been setting except Decree? If there were quick plays that you want to play, then obviously play them. things like Shared Ride and Book of Moon are still very much live. I just don't know if he if he brought his MSTs back in or not. The Ice Hands probably never came out though. So he activates the Kaleidoscope. How big would a Book of Moon be here? I swear to goodness. Maybe you have a Shared Ride and a Book of Moon, like, back to back. That would be so big. Because you'd be able to stop this dude, attack it, kill it. So he's activating Shared Ride. There's one. Hopefully he gets those decree outs. Maybe even inside a Book of Eclipse for what's it called? Maybe Battery should even inside Book of Eclipse. Put the Put the Unicorn face down, right? That card has skyrocketed in price also. Like I think even like the rare versions are like $10 almost. So I actually just picked up a playset of Shared Ride and I don't even play it. I think I bought them for about $6.50 each, and now it's looking like they're about $9 each. Shrink. Oh man, no Shrink. Alright, so down goes Kaiku. And Pascal just keeps setting cards. Like, how many Royal Decrees do you have? Maybe he has like MSTs. I think it'd be crazy if he top decked Ice Hand. I think he just passed. No, he didn't. He summons Rocket. The problem is right now that the Royal Decree is just putting in work against him. That card is just doing too much. Especially the fact that Pascal, well, he drew cards from Valkyrus turn 1, so he didn't necessarily have to open with it. He could have drawn it from Valkyrus. Looks like he's just gonna pass. He'll probably just attack unless he has a Manju Sanju. In which he'll attack and maybe exceed. Oh boy, Manju Sanju off the top. Oh, too strong. Too strong. Manju Sanju's too strong. Yeah, I think those two will definitely go to 1 in April. I don't know about Nekroz. I think Konami won't hit them because they are their new cards. They need to sell those motherfuckers. We're already halfway through February, so the ban list is going to be coming out in 6 weeks, or it's going to be in effect in 6 weeks. And it's like, would you really want to kill one of your latest moneymakers after 6 weeks of play? Like, I wouldn't. I would hit Manju at 1, Sanju at 1, Advanced Ritual Arthur 1, and I'd leave everything else at 3, and I'd just be like, deal with it. Because at least you can say, we tried to hit the deck, but you still, then you can reprint the shit and you can make even more money. You know what I mean? Konami can be like, oh yeah, remember Brio? It's common now. We're releasing a Nekroz starter deck. You get Brio and 2 Valkyrises. That would be hilarious. Oh my god. For everybody who went out and paid like $160 for a Brio, I'd probably feel a certain type of way if I did that, and then Konami makes like the Nekroz structure deck and they get like one more monster or something. I'm trying to think of another synchro. The Nekroz of DeLorean, you know what I mean? Like, that would be awesome. I don't understand why there isn't a Nekroz of DeLorean. Wasn't he Ice Barrier synchro? He wasn't one of the legendary ones. I get that, but still. Or the Nekroz of Leviathan. Remember the big Fable one? The one that's like 10 stars? Yeah, that guy. The Nekroz of Leviathan. So I guess he's going to summon yet another Unicorn. So activate Herald. I mean, at this point, I would try and push for game. I'm not trying to extend the game any longer than I want, or than I have to. He's getting Trishula. Yeah, I wouldn't try and extend the game. If I'm a Nekroz player, I never try to extend the game longer than I have to. Then he's going to get Colossus. Activates... okay, he gets Nekroz Mirror so that he can banish 6 stars from his graveyard. See, there was a reason that they put Royal Decree in the Secret Forces, people. You need to be paying attention. Clearly, Royal Decree is the realest card. This card is the real deal. He gives up, I believe that was Colossus and Brio for Trish. Get rid of the monster. Everybody swing, 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 game. That's all you got to do. So, Battery put up a really good fight game 1, but Royal Decree was just a little too much. And probably lost when he lost to Kaiku. I think he also stopped drawing cards from for his shared ride too. Pretty sure that Pascal searched a lot more. Yep, Decree ends up getting him the game. That is just a little too much, man. Reload, Vanities. Yeah, it probably is better than Denko, because with Denko, if you just summon it and it gets hit with a warning, it's no good. Also, with Denko, you kind of have to win that turn. Yeah, man, he opened double Decree and an MST. That's too good. Thank you guys for watching as always.